dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that chop, you must want this baby. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm mess around, find out, yeah. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm mess around, find out, for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. The dog palm, mess around, find out.
What up, though, Pistons fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Deuce and Boss Show. We got King in the building tonight, guys. What's going on, King? How you feeling, bro?
What's good, man? Kind of alarmed.
Yeah, we got some breaking news, guys. Got some breaking news. I'm sure most of you guys have already heard it. In case you haven't, man, the Dog Pound next season is going to look a lot different. We just got breaking news that Isaiah Stewart has been traded to the Memphis Grizzlies for 3 future second-round picks via Shams. News just came out, and I don't have any notes. I'm literally just reacting to this as we got the news. I'm sure King is on the same tip. Before I dive in and just kind of let whatever's in my brain come out, I'm going to pass it to you, bro, and just let you react to this news. What's on your mind?
My reaction is a little bit different. Kind of knew it was coming.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All the signs were there, every arrow pointed. I didn't expect it to happen in this manner. This to me points to the Detroit Pistons freeing up cap space to probably sign somebody instead of trade what we've been hearing over this time. So definitely a move coming behind it. It's going to be interesting to see who that person is. I've seen a couple of ESPN analysts having a discussion earlier today where they were talking about Detroit is still hell-bent on bringing another guy next to Cade to handle that basketball. And then when you get the reports that came out about the Pistons and Reeves from the Lakers, kind of makes sense why the Detroit Pistons are so aggressive right now.
Yeah, I'm good on Reeves ever since he said he didn't want to be a Detroit Piston years ago. You know, kind of soured me on him. But, yeah, that definitely is a case with them trying to make another move. Definitely think that's coming. This is not the end. I'm going to just say this first. I want to just talk about Stu first and what he meant to this team. He was the heart and soul of this basketball team. He gave us 6 years of just gritty, tough, dog pound mentality, culture setting mentality, and just he brought it to the court. And I think he meant a lot to the city. He was a fan favorite here. A lot of fans loved him. I got a chance to know him a little bit, not extensively, but I got a chance to talk to him. You know, Boston and I ran a fundraiser for his foundation, Isaiah Stewart Learning Center. Shout out to them. Really good dude, man. Really cares about people. Really made an effort to get to know you, the person. Love talking about stuff outside of basketball, right? Just a really good, genuine person. He was one way on the court and another way off the court. He was able to flip that switch like a lot of people can't. But I want to just shout him out and give him some love for what he brought to this team because he was a big part of it, man. He set the tone for us. That's why you guys saw the intro. I had to run the intro, the Dog Pound intro to start this because that's how important he was. He inspired me personally to create music because of what he brought to this city. So I just want to show him some love, shout him out, and I know that the Grizzlies are getting a good one. They're getting a good one. They're definitely going to get somebody who's going to be a culture setter and a tone setter for their team over there.
Yeah, you know, just like I said, good situation for Stu, actually. You're going over there with Booz, who they just picked up in this draft. I think they're quietly making some moves over there in Memphis, even though the saga continues with John Morant. The retool over there is looking pretty good so far.
Yeah.
As far as Isaiah Stewart goes, I mean, Isaiah Stewart has just been nothing but hard work here. Just puts his head down, works the entire time he's here. And with all due respect, man, after I seen the way that he was treated in the playoffs when he came back, I kind of feel, exactly why he kind of exploded on that sideline over there, to be treated somewhat to what the extent that Ron Holland was, not getting the minutes that he deserves after putting all that work in year after year. It's kind of disrespectful. So as a somebody who would have, as a athlete, that would definitely piss me off. So I get it. Both sides, I believe, mutually figure that, hey, it's time to part ways. Detroit Pistons obviously need to free up some space somehow, rather trade or free agency, to make room after you're getting ready to bring a Jalen Duren in, who also, if I'm Isaiah Stewart, I would have been upset too, because Jalen Duren played like absolute dog shit and he got all the
Didn't
minutes.
play well. Didn't play well. He did not play well. Yeah. From what I understand, like you mentioned it already, we were kind of bracing ourselves like an overbite, just waiting for something, because it was reported, by various, journalists and things like that, that this could have been coming. I don't think he, like you mentioned, really liked the way he was being used. The one thing I will say, not to backtrack too far and to bring up old stuff, one of the only things I appreciated in the Monty Williams era is that we saw a two big lineup with him and JD. We saw Stu being able to stretch out, taking 700 shots a day, in practice, getting him up so he could be a stretch. And I felt like they really didn't utilize that as much as they could have. We really didn't see too much of that two big lineup for the entire duration that he and JD played together. And that was something that you and I were clamoring for years, was to be able to see that. So I think he may have been, I don't know, I think he may have been a little upset about his role. And I think it kind of came to a head possibly in the playoffs. I know you said you saw some things on the sideline, So yeah, I just think this was coming. It's just unfortunate for me when it comes to, and listen, I don't know what's coming next. We have ideas, but the thing that I look at is the 3 second-round picks that the Pistons got in return. And to me, it just feels like we just recouped the picks that we used from last night to get Ebuka Okorie to move up.
They're the exact
Are they the exact same picks? Okay. Okay, so we just got them right back. So I don't know if those picks are what was needed to complete a deal that may have been on the table. Maybe, and I'm just, spitballing here, but I'm thinking maybe Trajan saw that Ebuka could be available, but may not be there when they get to 21. So he said, you know what, let me just go ahead and grab him and figure it out later. And maybe this was the opportunity for him to be able to get those back. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking about how it could have played out. But either way, I'm just very curious. I'm not going to say it was a good move, bad move from a basketball standpoint, but I'm just very curious to see how things transpire from here. I hope whoever we grab is somebody who at least reinforces who we are, right? Because we know what Stu brought. But if we're just looking to bring somebody in who's just a one-way player as far as offensively, that will kind of be worrisome for me. So I hope whoever we do bring here is obviously a good player, a quality player, a bucket getter, a creator, whatever. But I hope they just contribute to what is already established here, in part because of Isaiah Stewart.
Whether it was a mutual agreement or not, and yeah, we got the same picks that, we sent over there. There's no way that this is not linked to something bigger to come in the future. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way. What that'll be will be the interesting part. Obviously, the Pistons are serious, man, about getting K some help around here.
Yeah.
The dog pound, to me, I don't even feel comfortable calling it the dog pound anymore.
I'm with you.
He was the dog pound. He created that mentality. He was the real dog barking instead of guys like Duren in the playoffs. So, we'll see what the next phase is for this team and what this team forms out to be. But Isaiah Stewart was a heck of a personality, man. I appreciate everything he was about. Toughness, professionalism, everything that he was about, man. Takes care of his family. I even love watching him farm, man. Isaiah Stewart was cool dude, man.
Family man.
He always to be a Piston. Always to be a Piston.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So once again, we don't know what that's going to look like as far as a return or even if and when something's going to happen. I'm just very curious to see what it is, bro, at this point. We've heard names like Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, Kyrie Irving, guys like that. Whoever it is, it just has to reinforce what we already are, bro. We were talking about this last night. I don't want this team to overcorrect, to overcompensate, because you just mentioned the importance of how Trajan is serious about getting Cade more offensive help, right?
Mhm.
I just hope there isn't an overcorrection when it comes to that, because we still did get to the one game from the conference finals last year, despite the lack of offensive creation we had outside of Cade. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So as long as we just continue to find guys who can, yes, help Cade, but also contribute to the culture of what Stu kind of built and create a foundation here, I'm cool. I'm cool, because it looked like it was what both sides need to do anyway. So we got a quick super chat I want to get to from Dom. What's up, bro? Dom says, being patient to see what follows, but WTF. All I can think, Trajan thinking two straight playoff runs, and Stu really hasn't been healthy for either. Plus the rumors of Stu wanting out. Salute to the big brother of the dog pound. Yeah, exactly. Like King said, he was definitely, like, you had guys like JD buy in, Ron buy in, other guys buy in, but it started with him. You know, it started with him. He created the mantra, he created the attitude. All of that came from him. Also, the point he made about the playoff runs, I think that's interesting too, because we know early last year in the playoffs, this just like this year, he got hurt, he got injured, kind of a freak injury, freak accident type of injury, both years with his legs. Right, last year he looked to be effective when he was playing in that New York series very early. I think it was game 1 he got hurt, and we didn't see him the rest of that series. And then this year, I think it was game 3 or 4 he got hurt, and we didn't really see much of him after that, because he just didn't look like himself. Even though they said he wasn't hurt, he didn't look like himself to me. So it's unfortunate that he had to endure those first 4 years, of was very tough basketball, very dark times here for us as Pistons fans, going through the 28 game losing streak, 14 and 68 season. The seasons before that of barely getting to 20 wins, not even getting to 20 wins at times. It's unfortunate that we get to the point of being able to have some playoff success and reap some of those benefits, and both times he's not able to be part of that the way he wants to. And then after that, he's gone. So it's unfortunate for him, that he had to play out this way. But once again, I just hope he gets the opportunity in Memphis to really do some things over there.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They'll definitely give him his just due over there. When players leave here, they seem to find flowers for some reason. But looking at the situation as far as how aggressive Detroit is and what we're looking for, it kind of speaks to what the plan just might be with Ebuka Okorie, because we're still looking for a guy next to Cade. You know what I'm saying? And that's saying that the Detroit Pistons are not just, being complacent and saying, hey, we drafted a guy, go next to Cade. We want a veteran to come in here, somebody with some star power, possibly,
Right.
and put him next to Cade, and then we can bring Ibuka in, at our pace. That's the way that you want to do it. I said it plenty of times. I am not a fan of bringing rookies in and throwing them into the fire.
Yep.
That's just me. I want them to earn it and go get it.
Yeah, we know JB isn't going to give anything to anybody. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, let's get to some comments, man. See what you guys think. A lot of comments, a lot of irritation in the chat right now. I'm seeing Jaylen Brown. I want Jaylen Brown on the Pistons. They're about to. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna trade Ron Howland. I said it before. I don't. I was saying.
We got some news.
You got some news? What's up?
The Detroit Pistons, the New York Knicks traded number 53, Ugonna. I'm not about to spread his last name to the Detroit Pistons for cash. So we picked up another young guy from the New York Knicks just now.
Huh.
Yeah, that's coming from Shams.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah. To the Pistons. I don't understand. Okay. Huh.
Just another young guy. I mean, you got some seconds. Why not use them?
I guess so. I guess it doesn't hurt. Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna have my eye on Twitter for probably the rest of the night at this point, because anything could happen at any point. As of right now, we really just don't know. But I do think another thing that signals is what we all suspected when it came to a guy like Paul Reed. I don't know if we have Paul Reed if we make this move. Right. But I think Paul Reed over the last 2 years, including the playoffs, especially the playoffs this year, we've seen him whenever he's been given an opportunity, he shows up, whether it's 2 minutes or 20 minutes, or he's starting, whatever, it doesn't matter. He will go 5 DMPs and then come in right away in the next game and be player of the game, get the belt, right? All kind of stuff. So I do think because of how he played, the way he performed in the playoffs, I think he gave them a level of confidence to where they can do this comfortably, along with the fact that there were some issues between the team and Stu, right? I think it kind of just gave him the extra push to go ahead and make that move. So this is Paul Reed's time. This is his opportunity at this point to really be able to take advantage of it, even though he hasn't really been given it as much as we would like to see. Even in the playoffs this year, there were times I'm like, why is it Paul Reed playing late in games?
Right.
He's played great, the first 3 quarters. So that's going to be a plus for him. And I think for this team as well to have a guy waiting in the wings who's ready for the opportunity. And I think he's going to take advantage of it, man. I really do. I really think Paul Reed's going to, show out and really prove why he deserves a role in this team. I think it's time for him to go ahead and get that.
Yeah. So like I said, we move back into the second round and we get a big, another young big. Somebody I don't know who this is, but obviously we got some research to do. I'm still thinking the door is open to possibly bringing some back, a veteran. If you want to add a true number 3 big to this team, and somebody like Drummond or somebody of that caliber on a cheap, a cheap type of contract. So, but yeah, we just picked up another young big man. We got some work to do.
Is Drummond a free agent?
Yeah, free agent.
Oh, he is a free agent.
Yep.
I know recently go ahead.
No, I'll say he can go wherever he wants.
Yeah, I know recently he was talking about how he, as he always does, was saying he wanted to finish his career here. He's maintained that and said that for years. So that's interesting to see how that will develop as well. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. It's it's just a waiting game now at this point. It's just a waiting game. I don't know.
Very
I don't know.
interesting, man. The Pistons are in full force in that office. They on the phones right now doing what they doing. And yeah, I mean, they're putting the work in. It's just, like I said, you just got to pull the right strings. You want to be competitive, go up against the Knicks and these other teams in the Eastern Conference. We can't fumble, man. We can't be giving away things and not getting things in return. So,
yeah,
like I said, Trajan got to be very, very careful with this one and bring the right guys in here.
I will say this, bro. I felt like Isaiah Stewart was the wild card when it came to playing teams like the Knicks, when it came to playing teams like the Cavs.
Yep.
Because we know his ability to be able to guard 1 through 5 is very rare for a guy his size. The way he moves his feet on the island, no help needed. He's able to block shots at the rim with the best of them in the league, if not the best rim protector in the league. And I think that unique skill set that he had would be able to negate a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, who gave us trouble the first time around when Stu wasn't available, right? And we had to have JD, try to guard him. And, Cat was really doing his thing, especially late in those games when those games were up for grabs. So I think losing a guy like that's the only thing that concerns me. I know things happen. You can't keep everybody. I get it. But I think against the teams we're trying to supplant and the teams we're trying to catch, I guess you could say now that the Knicks have won, a guy like him would have been very, very important. We saw what happened even in the games he played in the regular season against him. We saw Cat skipping games because Stu was going to be available and we were playing and they were playing us. So that's what I worry about. We did see Paul Reed the first time around. He held his own, but you see he would get moved off a spot in the post. He just was, and he has gotten stronger between that, that and the last season. He has gotten bigger and stronger. But Stu has proven that he can be a guy that really Cat's water off. And I think that's important now that they're the champs to keep in mind that how are we going to counter that? And I think you got to wait and see. But I think that's a blow when it comes to that in particular. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's the difference is the Orlando series and the Cleveland series when it comes to Stu. Or like I said, we've seen this guy get 8 blocks in a game. You know what I'm saying?
17 minutes.
Paul Reed ain't giving you no damn blocks. I don't care how hard he tries. He'll come in and he'll get you some bunnies at the basket, give you some energy and everything else. But if a team decides to go with a double big lineup, he's going to struggle. So he was very fortunate out there at times that he got to go up against one of those guys at a time. Now, luckily, when the Cleveland Cavaliers, those guys are not huge, big-time scorers as far as somebody like a Karl Anthony Towns. So, right. I mean, Isaiah's resume is his resume. Sometimes some fans, they have recency bias, man. They tend to get amnesia and forget everything that somebody did for their team.
Yeah.
But his resume speaks for itself. It is what it is. Isaiah Stewart is not a type of player that you should be moving from your team simply because of identity, and the biggest, baddest guy on the opposite team does not want to deal with the Isaiah Stewart.
Right.
They're not scared of Paul Reed.
Yeah, that's a fact. And that's not an indictment on Paul Reed at all. Right?
No,
I
it's
think Paul
not.
Reed's a very good player. I think he should have been the third big last year with Stu starting with JD. That's another conversation. But yeah, your point is taken, bro. On that note, guys, we are going to pivot a little bit. We have another guest who just pulled up to be part of this conversation. And we have Vinny in the building. If I can get him up here. How come I can't see him? Where you at, bro? Why can't I see you, bro? Hold on. Oh, I got you. There we go.
Well, am I clear? Am I coming through? Everything good now?
Yeah, what up, though, bro? How you feeling?
Good. What's going on, family? How y'all doing, man?
Everybody show some love to Vinny in the building, man. Yeah, bro, we just having a conversation, talking about this breaking news we got about Isaiah Stewart getting moved to the Grizzlies for those 3 second-round picks that we gave up in last night's deal. Thoughts, bro? Thoughts on the move?
I'm shocked, man. I'm really surprised. The franchise, the front office, the team, everybody has spoken so highly on Stu. He's one of the first pieces and really the most longest tenured Piston since the rebuild and the restoration started with this franchise. And he's been a big centerpiece of all of it. He's been a great utility guy, a starter, guy that comes off the bench, played at the 4, played at the 5. He's done everything that this team has asked him to do. And it was a success. I think his time here has been a success. I think he'll forever be emboldened as one of the all-time greatly remembered Pistons in franchise history. But there is a mission to be done here. There is, a goal that this team is now at and they're trying to reach. And these are the kind of decisions and the kind of moves that you kind of have to make. Stu has been great here. Unfortunately, for guys like Paul Reed, he kind of made him a bit expendable through the playoffs. Jalen Duren, even with his struggles that we saw in the postseason, he was still fantastic in the regular season. He's still one of the cornerstone pieces of what they're trying to do in the future. And that puts a lot of pressure on him now. So I think looking at what they have already and looking at what they need, obviously on offense and defense as well now, because losing Stu, you now take a big point out of your interior defense and your versatility. But I think based on what they're looking for, I think the return is going to be the biggest judgment on what this move looks like. Like, I didn't mind them trading Sadiq Bey at the time that they did it, but I hated what they got in return for it. So if this ends up becoming Trey Murphy or a big, name that a lot of fans are looking forward to, then it ends up being worth it to an extent. But if it doesn't, if the return is not what, makes a whole lot of sense in terms of what their direction is going for a championship push, then that's gonna, be a big judgment a part of it. But this is a huge move right here. This is clear that Trajan is trying to do something big. I at least appreciate the effort, and I guess we'll see what happens when that return comes, if it does.
Bro, what you just said in a nutshell is what me and King just said separately.
No way.
Like literally, like King said this shows that Trajan is aggressive. He's putting his money where his mouth is, and also the fact that basically it depends on the return.
Yeah.
Right? Like we understand, that's what I was saying. I hope the Pistons don't overcorrect on the offensive tip and sacrifice, some of that grit mentality and that toughness that Stu brought and the defensive identity that we have. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's why we just gotta wait and see. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just gonna wait and see. I'm not gonna say good trade, bad trade, whatever. We just gotta wait and see what comes of it. If it's a Trey Murphy type player, y'all know I've been on Trey Murphy. Eric, you've been on Trey Murphy. King, I think even you later on since last year. I think around the time the season started last year. So if it's that kind of move, okay, it'll make it easier to deal with, accept, and things like that because it's just so fresh. So we gotta wait and see, man. We gotta wait and see. It's hard to really know right now.
Yeah, it's a lot in the air at the moment. Again, for me, I just appreciate the effort. We've talked about this, with the Lions, the Pistons, just in general. I like just the simple effort that they're not trying to stand pat and treat this opportunity as, we're past the evaluation period now. Like, we've seen all the steps with this team and what the direction is looking to be. When you have an MVP engine like Cade Cunningham, you don't sit still. You have to make some gutsy moves. You have to make some tough calls. And, Cade and a lot of these guys are very mature in understanding that this is a business. And I'm sure it wouldn't be any bad blood. Like, I'm sure Stu was probably, feeling a way about it, but at the end of the day, I think he's still a pretty mature player in terms of how he approaches the business. So
Yeah.
it's something that makes sense. Again, yeah, the return will be the biggest decision maker to all of this to decide it, but again, he was one of those guys that kind of just became expendable, based on what we saw for a lot of players. Like Paul Reed didn't just become who he is in the postseason. Yep. He was fantastic in that Knicks game where they didn't have him or Duran when he was out for the suspension. Like Paul Reed has been phenomenal basically since he's been here. So he's going to be getting a lot more opportunity to play. I think that's a huge plus for this team. I guess we'll see what happens though in terms of what Trajan wants to do next.
Right. Got some super chats here. Let's get to Mark. Mark says, Stu has a combative style of play that gives us some brilliance and some setbacks. End of an era, but the start of a more dynamic future. We need to be ruthless. Nothing is given to the 3-1-3. It kind of talks about, plays into what you're saying about this being a business and these guys being mature enough to understand that. They're still human at the end of the day. So like you said, they still may feel a way about it. This is the only team he's played for in the league. And he's been here for 6 years. So he's, this was home for him for a long, for 6 years. So it's still the human aspect. And we understand that as well. I do feel like he had cut down, even though he had the outburst against the Charlotte Hornets earlier this year. But I felt like he was trying to at least keep his emotions in check. This year, he was trying to prove that. We saw him against Valanciunas, against the Denver Nuggets, when he tried to throw him to the ground. Stu just kept walking, laughed it off. We saw with Jay Huff, with the Pacers, yapping at him. Stu was just doing a woosah thing and woosah moment and just letting it go. So it looked like he was trying to not to do things that wasn't hurting the team. It looked like King is hurting himself or whatever.
Sting is going through it. What's going on, bro?
Man, Terrion Arnold just got arrested and is facing multiple felony
We
charges.
can't have nothing in Detroit, bro.
I am so sick of this, bro.
Are you
Lions
serious?
fans got mad at me when I said I'm not excited about this team at all this year. It's just
Ladies and
one
gentlemen.
crazy thing after another, bro. What?
Are you
Ladies
kidding
and
me, bro?
gentlemen, now y'all understand why I'll be talking about other NBA and NFL teams. I'm tired, bro. I am tired.
I'm done, bro. I'm
of
done.
Detroit team.
Did they say why?
Oh, God.
What happened? Like,
It's coming out now. I gotta go through this stuff. Good lord.
sorry, Chad. We were not expecting this.
Facing
news tonight.
multiple felonies
This
for
is-
carry a full sentence. Up to life in bro. Are
Stop it,
you
bro.
kidding
Stop.
me?
Stop. No way. No
Source
way,
to
bro.
Dave Burkett, and Dave he's on
Nah,
spot
he
with
don't-
what
yeah.
he say. Oh my homeboy's gonna freak out, bro. Ain't no way.
What did he do? What in the world?
Yeah,
Life.
bro, I'm done, bro. That's crazy. I want to cuss so bad. That is insane. Come
I
on.
don't even know where to go with this, bro.
Man, I can't do this, dude.
I'm not even thinking football right now, bro. Like life
Literally.
in prison. Like, what are
Can
we talking about?
This is.
What in the world?
I totally understand your reaction now, King. I get it.
I'm tired, dog. I really am. I really, if I could, I would just want to walk away from YouTube, bro. I really do.
Oh no, I ain't letting you do that anyway. You ain't going
I'm so
nowhere,
sick
bro.
of. I'm tired of.
You
I'm
ain't
tired
going
of
nowhere,
Detroit
bro.
Teams, bro. I'm sick. It's these curses on our teams, bro. I just
Swear.
Terrion Arnold, bro. What in the world are you doing? Oh my God, man.
Never have nothing.
Now I got to
else.
spend all this rest of this.
Oh, you ain't
month of
sleeping until
July.
next month, bro.
Yeah,
You ain't
all
sleeping
this
until
You
next
got
month.
video to
camp.
do tonight.
If
Yep.
Terrion was here,
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's definitely coming.
Bro, he just got in the league like what, 2 years ago.
man.
Yeah, talking about I'm here to bring the Super Bowl to Detroit. How'd that go?
I can't even really. It's hard for me to even talk about the football, bro. This dude might spend the rest of his life in prison. Is
That's
what y'all are
crazy.
saying. That's crazy, bro.
Yep. Potential sentence up to life in prison.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Yeah. If y'all get any updates as to what happened, please let me know. That's crazy. Terrion Arnold. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else on that, y'all?
No, I don't
No.
even talk about life, man.
this sucks.
I don't know where to go, bro. I got nothing on that one. Okay. Let's get to this other super chat here. From Tom. Appreciate you, bro. Okay. Dom says, not familiar with the kid, but he's a 7-footer, and I've been wanting to add for 2 seasons now who's known for rebounding and shot blocking right after we trade Stu. We going to the motherland for the picks this year. Yeah, I'm not even familiar with the player. Um, you guys, any
I don't think nobody
background
on the
on?
planet is, bro.
Nope.
Like I said, we got some work to do. Don't nobody know who this dude is, man. He can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah,
wonder
I'm
what made
sorry.
him-
That's where I'm trying to start, bro.
I wonder what made him trade for him specifically, that quickly. Because we just made the deal for the picks.
If you trade this dude, you got to put a body on there on the bench somewhere that can
I
block
guess.
a shot. Because, like I said, Paul Reed ain't no defenseman. So
Yeah. I mean, he's not what Stu is. But I mean,
I
he
ain't
will.
never seen him shut nobody out in no game. So
Nah,
I say
nah.
he gonna give you points and energy. He ain't no defenseman though.
I mean, I think he's solid. I think he gets most of his activity just off his effort. Most of his results just off his effort. With Stewart, he was a very polished defensive player. You know how to play angles. You know how to time guys. He wouldn't time his jump with a Zubac the same way he would with Jalen Green. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he understood these guys. He can't hang in the air. So he was just a very polished defender all around, bro. And I think that's going to be something that we miss for sure. But I don't know, man. I'm still trying to get my bearings up after that Terrion news, bro. That's wild to me. That is wild. Okay, I think we can end it there, man. I don't really have anything else anywhere else to go with this, man. Y'all, thanks a
cool.
lot, King, for
cool.
for taking us off the rails.
Yeah.
Before we go, I do want to show this quick graphic here. We can talk about this if you guys want for a quick second and then get out of here. The salary cap overview. King, you wanna kind of elaborate on what we're looking at here, bro, and kind of talk about this real quick for a minute and kind of see what the options may be.
Yeah, like I said, just looking at them exceptions. And I was talking to somebody earlier, and they was kind of mentioning Tobias Harris, man, how the Detroit Pistons can use the exception. But what it does is it puts a lock on that first apron, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting to see how the Detroit Pistons do that. And then, obviously, with Stu out of the way, you got a little bit of flexibility to sign somebody, not have to necessarily trade.
Right.
So this is definitely going to
True.
be something that
That's
I'm going to keep my eye on, man.
Okay. Anything on that, E? Any follow up?
Nope, no, it's pretty spot on in terms of what the move represents. Like I said, it's gonna be a lot of tracking to see what Trajan's up to. But yeah, this is a pretty good breakdown. What we're having to look forward to.
Yeah. All right, guys, we can leave it there, man. We appreciate you guys in the chat. I was trying to get to the comments, but y'all coming in way too hot tonight, man, for sure. So with that, what's up?
Let's address something right quick because I got a couple of comments earlier, and I want to address this right now. They were saying basically like we reacted that we were disappointed in the pick for Ebuka Okorie.
Okay, you know what?
More to come.
And since we got E Vinny here too, make sure y'all go follow Eric Vincent everywhere. Shameless plug. But look, since we have you here, because you're right, bro. I think somebody kind of misunderstood where we were going with this, and I'm gonna clear the air, at least from my perspective. I want to speak for y'all really quickly.
All right, then.
In the very beginning, King, who did I say was the guy that jumped out to me before we talked about anybody else? Who did I say I wanted to bring here?
Yeah, Ebuka Okorie.
Ebuka Okorie, right? So just from watching him as a basketball player, that was what I was saying. Then I thought about the roster construction, what we need, what Trajan has said that he wants as far as the build of guys, right? Their measurables. He wants size. He wants defensive versatility, which is why I didn't think a guy like Sasser would play a lot last year, and he didn't, right? So those are the reasons I was like, I don't know if he has a size. I don't know if that's our biggest need right now. We have a Danish Jenkins as a backup point guard and things like that. I don't know if that's the biggest need right now. Maybe get a wing, a spacer, like Isaiah Evans, somebody of that ilk, right? Or the guy that you wanted, King Cameron Carr, right? So somebody of that ilk who had size, who could defend multiple spots, who can shoot. It had nothing to do with Ebuka as a player at all. It was just more so about based on what Trajan said that he wanted and based on the guys that he brought in last year to reinforce that, bringing in Duncan Robinson. He's not a great defender, but he's got size. Karis LeVert, defender, has size. Year before that, even a guy like THJ had size. He could defend 1 through 3. So based on that mold, I'm like, Ebuka, he's 6'1", 6'2". It just didn't fit the mold for me for what he said he wanted. It had nothing to do with Ebuka as a player. So I want to say that because I got a lot of backlash like, he's this. And I'm like, yeah, he's a great player. That was who I kind of wanted to begin with. it's just more so about what Trajan said he wanted, and it seems like maybe now Trajan is pivoting after seeing what the struggles of last year in the playoffs and seeing the offensive struggles. Maybe he's like, okay, let's kind of balance the scales a little bit more balanced and bring in some more offense with a guy who can still defend, not the biggest guy, but he can defend, long wingspan, things like that. So I understand it more what he's going for, but it just looks like now that he's pivoting and going a little bit different direction based on what he originally said. But all we could go off of until we saw what happened last night was what he said. So I just want to get that out there and make that point. Go ahead, Ken, get in there, bro.
Yeah, not one time last night did we say that Ebuka Okorie is a bad player,
Right.
that he couldn't do something.
Yeah.
We only questioned the pick because of his height.
Right.
And I've been consistent all this time along. I even did a video review weeks back and had him in it and said that according to what the Pistons need and what they like, I don't think he's going to be the pick. So when it happened, yes, there was some confusion. We were looking like, really, that's what we really just did, because to us, it just didn't make sense.
Right.
Well, obviously, we're still looking for a guy to put next to K. So making that pick, going to get the guy that you want as far as Ebuka, but, we out here trying to steal Reeves away from the Lakers. The Pistons trying to double down. You know what I'm saying? So it is, you can take that chance when you're still trying to go out there and be aggressive and find a veteran player, somebody that's established in the league. You can make that type of move.
Right.
I don't have no problem with the kid at all. I just worry about his height because just like I was explaining them in the video, if you don't watch college ball, you didn't see him play against one of the big ranked teams in Duke. Duke blew them out by 40. And Ibuka had 9. They locked him down. He couldn't even get to the basket. That was my concern.
Well, I will say in that game, because you sent me that. In that game, bro, like it was kind of like watching Cade last year in the playoffs. I ain't gonna lie. He had 10 eyes on him defensively every single time. They were sending doubles at half court, bro. Like they weren't going to let him do anything. So, when you got Cam Boozer to go along with Isaiah Evans, it's a little easier for guys like that to be able to get off because you can't double, right? So I think your point is taken. I just think in certain situations, it was hard for him because he knew he had to do everything. And I think coming to a team like Detroit, who has a guy in Kate Cunningham with the same problem, when they come together now, I think it could be a little bit easier for both of them. But I think your point is still valid as far as the size. That still concerns me a little bit. But I think he's going to be a good player. I think he's going to be a really good player. And Trajan Langdon said he is very confident he's going to reach his ceiling because since he's known him a little bit already. So
I explained that on the videos I dropped yesterday and today that I thought, hey, he plays for the Detroit Pistons now. He plays around some guys now that it'll be a whole lot easier for him. But that's why I had the reserves. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for me in college basketball, it's what you do on the biggest stages, period. You know what I'm saying? What you do on the biggest stages is what in the next level, it gives you confidence to say, this player's going to be that and this player's going to be that.
Right.
So that's why I had my reserves about him in the first place.
Yeah.
But thinking about it with the Detroit Pistons and what we have and who he'll be playing with, possibly, the Pistons bringing in another guy, that changes things.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pulling for him. For sure. E, anything on that, bro?
Yeah, I'll kind of give my feedback. I haven't really spoke too much on it, since yesterday.
Take off.
I agree with y'all. I think he has the upside to be a good player. In terms of what we've seen in the league, we do see guards and players in general just playing at a higher, size and height. But we also have seen undersized guards have success as soon as this year or in the past as well. But I'm 100% with you in terms of what Trajan talked about, in terms of direction, in terms of the value of the pick in itself. And you hear that a lot, like for all sports. Like that was a big conversation when Jahmyr Gibbs was drafted with the Lions and Jack Campbell and Laporta, that class. So it's a reasonable conversation. And for me, I think a lot of questions around that make sense. I think knowing that you have Cade Cunningham, you have 2 other guards in front of him on the bench right now that have similar size and measurables, it makes me question why. Like, what were you looking at? And I kind of asked Trajan that when we were in the presser. I'm like, Is this the kind of player that you were looking for from the start? Or was it just his workout and like what you saw and learned about him that made you say, you know what? he's the best player available. He's what we look at, and we think he can make the biggest impact. Because I was kind of curious about that. Like, there's no way you could have went into this offseason looking for another point guard that, again, I get it. Yeah, you need creation, but how much are you going to rely on a 19-year-old that is behind 3 other guys right now? Like, that's what my question was. I really wanted Cameron Carr. When I saw that they traded up, I'm like, oh, this is it. He's got to be who they're going for. And I was really surprised that this is what they ended up doing. Again, that's not to say that he can't be a good player. I think the value can make sense. But like we just saw with Stu, you're going to have to shovel some things around to get there first. Like, again, he's 19 years old. You're in a position now where you were a game away from the ECF. You're not going to be relying on your 4th point guard to help you get to where you're trying to go. And that's where my question is. Like, Cade is everything here. Y'all got to start treating him like every other team treats their star focal point players. Like, people question, why is De'Aaron Fox? I know he's a punching line now, but I respect the Spurs for trying to make that move to say, hey, big dog, we trying to get you all the help possible to make sure you can get to where you want to go. And they exceeded expectations by getting to the finals and knocking off the defending champs. So I don't know. Again, the pick can make sense. I'm willing to give it credit as time develops. I just think it's a lot of time it's going to take a lot of moves to get there. And I'm just tired of them kicking the can on needs over, best player available. I get best player available, but when you're championship hunting, needs, I think, have to be the priority to some more of an extent instead of we're just going to wing it and then develop over time. So, Again, I'll give it time. I'll be patient, but I do have questions, and I did kind of scratch my head when I heard his name called last night.
Yeah, and that's where I was at, too. That was where I was. That's why I kind of went to Isaiah Evans. He kind of reminds me of that Devin Vassell type player, right? A catch-and-shoot guy, off-ball movement. You know what I mean? That was who I had for him as a prototypical player.
All right, guys.
So, go ahead, E. Or go ahead, King, because I got a super chat here. I think it's going right in line with what you're saying. So real quick, Braylon Dennis says, guys, breaking news, Terrion Arnold has been arrested. Burkett tweeted. All right, so
King on breaking news.
Florida State Attorney's Office plans to file charges in connection in the February robbery and the kidnapping in Tampa. So this is what this is about.
Okay.
Involving Terrion Arnold's associates. 2 of those guys in the case pled guilty, so they're probably in there singing like birds. We know how this goes. Florida is a horrible state, by the way. They have some of the craziest law systems, and just Florida is nuts. So this is not good at all, man. But yeah, he got 2 associates in there, and they're probably singing like birds.
Oh yeah,
but they're going to try to file the charges against him, even though he didn't physically kill someone. So when you see the life sentence on there, don't get afraid like he's going away for life. Yes, he's probably screwed because they're probably in there lying or making up something to get themselves a lesser sentence. But come on, man,
bro. If the expectation wasn't already low enough for us as Lion fans going into next season,
I never thought he was going to be nothing anyway. I'm gonna be honest.
You weren't high on him.
Terrion was never. He was always another Jeff Okuda to me. I don't like taking corners in the first round.
I feel that.
I never liked it, man. Do not do that. If you're a football franchise, do not take corners that early, man.
The only reason I was willing to let it slide is because he came from Bama. That was the only reason I was like, you know what? Maybe they know something we don't know. But
and see, with me being a Michigan football head, we already knew that him coming out of Bama, he was a touchy player. And the reason why you're so grabby is usually because you don't have the speed to stay with guys out there.
Yep.
And that's all that we saw.
I saw yellow way too often on the bottom of my screen on 3rd and long, bro. Like, come on, bro. Come on,
it's like teams just knew. It's like, even if we can't get a pass, he going to grab you. We going to get 15 plus out of this. So, hey, let's just go in his direction.
Exactly. Man, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Corners in need again.
Report said, not Jeff. Man. Yeah, I mean, King been pushing edge for like 3 or 4 years. It seems like at this point now.
Me too, bro. I've been right there with you. We've been in the trenches. I remember. What was it, the 2024 trade deadline where it was Chase Young and Montez Sweat and all them. People was killing me on Twitter. You don't know ball. And now look where we at. But y'all was fine with Donovan Peoples-Jones being the move.
Okay. We did get Rasheed Wallace's doppelganger, though.
We did.
Right.
And, that
Oh,
was,
yeah. But,
and then they treated him like he was buns the next year. Why would you need him back? Like,
I know.
Like we just have so much.
Man, Lions fans literally worship that team, so you cannot do any wrong in their eyes if you're the Detroit Lions, bro.
Oh,
it is a
God.
sickness and it's a disease.
Man, that's tough, bro. On a personal level, I feel for him. You know, I don't know the details, but I don't never see nobody go like that. That's just tough. So, all right, guys. That's
It's the worst ending.
There you go.
Obviously, I got work to do now, right?
Right. Oh yeah, you got a long night, King.
Yeah. Get your coffee,
Don't
bro.
stop.
Get your 5 hour.
Yeah.
You're gonna need it. She wanted to DoorDash you something because you're gonna be up for a little minute, bro.
Set a notification. Everybody sub the King. Set a notification. I know he gonna
Right.
black out. I can't wait.
Turn your alerts on. All of them. Make sure y'all got them on. But listen, guys, we appreciate you guys for pulling up, man, on this emergency episode. Isaiah Stewart has been or will be traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm not sure if it's final yet. To the Grizzlies for the 3 second-round picks that we used last night to go and get Ebuka Okorie. Those have been returned. And like we said before, this is not the end. This just signals a bigger move. We know that the Pistons are very aggressive. So now we got to wait and see what they decide to do and who that player or players are. So with that, guys, we will call it a night. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys are following these guys right here. Make sure you follow our guy, Eric Vincent, a.k.a. Vinny. Make sure you're following him on all platforms at I am Eric Vincent. He be all over Twitter, subtweeting everybody, or X subtweeting everybody. He want all the smoke all the time. I'm like, bro, are you still going? You still going at this dude head? Like
Off season time. I got all the time in the world now.
Bro does not care. So make sure you guys are following him, subscribe to him. Also on YouTube at Top Title Detroit, and make sure you guys check him out. He's got a lot of great content on clutch points as well. So stay tapped in. King, please tell us you ain't got nothing else, bro.
No, bro. I'm just charging up and getting
Every
ready.
time you lean back like this,
Yeah, it's a slow lean back. Yeah.
If your hand can actually fit in the screen.
Listen, if y'all gonna watch the video and you got kids, put them away. I'm finna do a lot of cussing.
I cannot wait.
I'm
I
seated for
cannot
that.
wait.
I'm seated for that. You already know I'm seated for that. But yeah, make sure you guys are following King as well, guys. Everything King on all platforms. I'm King77 on IG and everything King everywhere else. And we will tap in with you guys when we have some updates. And with that, y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. We out.
Forward down the field.
Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Welcome to the dog pound. Yeah.
I'm scared of these damn Pistons. I'm very concerned.
Screaming, cheering. Yeah, I cry loud, cause I said it got now. We off the leash and we not coming in peace. This is Detroit when we step on the court. Be afraid when you see the motorcade, watch below. When you see us soaring, Jalen Durant. Pick your poison, all gonna war when Dana's a song. Be afraid. Yeah, I cry loud, cause you know we got now. We off the leash and we not coming in peace. This is Detroit when we step on the car. Be afraid when you see the motorcade, watch below. When you see us soaring, Jalen Durant. Pick your poison, all gonna war with Highlander song. Be afraid. It's the dog pound.